When I was 8 years old, I got a Christmas present that changed my life forever, a ColecoVision. That's when I fell in love with the Italian plumber called Mario playing Donkey Kong. That's when I went into the Nintendo world where I played Legend of Zelda, and I learned English because of it, Punch-Out, Tetris, and of course, Super Mario Brothers. I didn't know back then, but what I was experiencing would define my life. Simulators taught me how system works. Strategy games taught me that every action had consequences, and I was learning mental models of the world through them. Then I experienced the Power Glove playing the Punch-Out game, and something shifted in my mind. I was like, what if I could be inside the games? In the 80s and 90s, gaming was not popular. It was very counterculture. It was weird. People didn't understand that instead of playing hockey with your friends, you would stay inside and play video games. But I didn't care. That was my first lesson about comfort. It was not comfortable playing games, but it was so much fun. I was learning so much through it to stop it. So with that mindset, I decided to go do my computer engineering in Sherbrooke at a co-op system. For people who don't know, co-op systems are an alternate program where you study theory for 4 months, and then you go into industry for 4 months working. Every time it's new teams, new companies, new project, it gets very uncomfortable. But it's in comfort that you learn the most. Textbooks teach you theory, discomfort teaches you everything else. So, while doing my MBA here, actually in 2005, Microsoft announced their Xbox 360. It was based on an amazing graphic card by NVIDIA. Something clicked in my mind. I said, the idea I got when I was 8 years old about being inside the game now is feasible. So I got invited to my Christmas party at my old job and convinced 2 of my colleagues to join me in this adventure. Eight years. Something that I thought would probably take 3 years to show the world took 8 years. Let that sink in. It was very uncomfortable. There was a lot of times that I wanted to quit, but I was so passionate about feeling inside games, seeing my vision come through, that I persevered. And then we were able to show it at the CES. But then, in 2014, on my birthday, we launched a Kickstarter. It did 100K on the first day, so that was an amazing birthday present. But then only 2 days later, Oculus showed their latest prototype at Oculus Connect. They just got bought by Facebook. They had tremendous resources. And then our Kickstarter flatlined. A public failure. That was very uncomfortable. We had to pull the campaign halfway through, because we knew we wouldn't make it. But the comfortable thing would have been to just stop there. But we didn't. We decided to scrap everything. Why? Because we listened to the community. What's great about Kickstarter is that you get feedback. And people were excited by the fact that we had cameras. And then they were like, oh, maybe you can do AR with your headset. I'm like, no, but that's a great idea. So what did we do? We didn't reuse one line of code. My engineer's years as a coder were over. And then we doubled the team, and we had 5 months to ship a new headset for E3. And we did it. But it was not comfortable. And a few years later, while dirt poor and not able to afford a boot, I went at the CES with my backpack and a lot of passion and showed the demo to as many people as possible, including the editor-in-chief at CES, at Tom's Hardware. And out of the blue, without any expectation, we got the best mixed reality demo they've ever seen. So that was sweet. And then Apple called. And it wasn't the first time I talked with them, but something stuck with me the year before when I met them. They said, if we like it, we don't invest, we buy. So we listened. And then we got acquired. 9 engineers from Montreal moved to the tech mecca, full of excitement and willing to learn from the best, most secretive place on the planet. And we worked on the Vision Pro. But I thought I was joining Steve Jobs' company, but I was joining Tim Cook company. Everything was data-driven, KPI-driven. You can imagine a lot of spreadsheets and keynotes. But what I learned through the years is that innovation doesn't come from data. Innovation comes from trial and error, following your intuition and gut feelings, and being uncomfortable. The comfortable thing at Apple would have been to follow the data, follow the process, play it safe. And remember that reality knob that was able to switch from AR to VR? Let me just go back quickly so you can see it. You see it on the right? That's the reality knob. Well, that was a defining feature when we demoed it to Johnny Ive and was part of the acquisition. And it was the first theme that they asked us to patent when we joined Apple. And now, it's the digital crown on the Vision Pro. So, there was an uncomfortable bet to double the team after an uncomfortable failure at the Kickstarter, after an uncomfortable 8 years, but it was worth it all the time to do those uncomfortable bets. Because now it's a defining feature of the Vision Pro. So, after Apple, what do I do? Well, maybe take those learnings and apply it to help others. So I was like, let's create something I wish I had. Let's create a VC that's ready to back ambitious founders in unconventional markets like B2C hardware, gaming, So we created the first Canadian VC that does exactly that. But I told my wife, she's here in the audience, that I wouldn't do startups for another 5 years. I didn't think that starting a VC was a startup, but here I am, a serial entrepreneur. So, how can you integrate that in your life? Well, we all know the AI revolution that's happening right now. Well, AI needs tons of data to do a good job. If you're mainstream, if you do the expected path, there's tons of data for that, and your job will be replaced by AI. So, what do? Go where AI can follow you, meaning be original, go in the uncomfortable place, try things that are not mainstream, and AI won't be able to follow you there. So, as I mentioned, gaming in the 80s was uncomfortable. 8 years building in my basement, where a lot of people in my extended family would tell me I was losing my time. Failing in public at the Kickstarter was uncomfortable. Starting everything from not keeping one line of code for our new version was uncomfortable, but it was worth it. So, what do I want you to go back home with? Well, if you're comfortable, be suspicious. That means that you need to get uncomfortable because that's where the creativity happens, where you can create a dent in the universe. So, like muscles, they grow when they get uncomfortable, so is your mind. The conclusion, comfort is the enemy of success. Thank you.